the next detachment is the Kult of Speed detachment. And this is what everyone was looking forward to in the detachment that came out. This is all about the fast Ork moles, the buggies, the warbikers, even the planes to an extent, and what kind of gives Mad Max theme. It allows you to bring back all the buggies and isolate not as much movement as you think, but still high movement tactics that allow you to kind of have more board presence and get that early war off, even maybe battle round 2 or even battle round 1 with those fast moving 12-inch movement units that absolutely just tear through it. So basically, Mad Max, if it was the Ork detachment. Let's jump straight into it with the Kult of Speed. Now, the core rule is Adrenaline Junkie, which is basically Speed Freak units, so the Speed Freaks, just Speed Freaks with a keyword, can shoot after advancing and falling back. Now, this is good, basically just for the idea of you keeping your shooting when you advance or you fall back. So basically, you fall back and you can still shoot, or you advance and you still shoot. So suddenly the pressure of having to hide, having to move back, being in a position where you don't have to get shot is irrelevant, because some of the shooting in this attachment is alright, but it does work really nice. So things like the Def Copters, if you've got 6 of them with all their rocket launchers with twin linked, being able to re-roll, obviously hitting on 5 is a bit annoying, but move them up, advance them, and then fire all 6 of those Def Cannon rocket launchers into an enemy, and you get that. Or if you got like a big, I think you can take squads of buggies anyway, or just buggies or squads of buggies, move them up, shoot them. It works. So it's a bit good. It's not like the best. I think this is like one of the weakest ones, because ultimately some of the shooting in here is like meh. But yeah, it works nice if you're looking at just kind of advancing and still being able to have some kind of pressure in holding points. And yeah, because ultimately this biggest thing here is movement. So if you want to be able to move to full extent without having to worry about being shot or not having any pressure, you can do it, and it works really well. Obviously you can't charge, it's just shoot, but still works well in the WAAAGH anyway, when you get both shoot and charge. Speed Freaks models count for Warbikers, Defcopters, the buggies including the Wartrike, the planes plus the Warboss on Warbike, and not trucks or battle wagons. So Speed Freak units basically have the keyword. You look through the new codex, every single unit who's in the Speed Freaks will have Speed Freaks keyword, so you know exactly what. Basically just all the speed, the buggies, the Warbikers, Defcopters, things like that, who have the Speed Freaks keyword, including planes. Maybe the planes might make a little bit of a return. My thoughts is that it's about aggressive, having speed, gives you option to be aggressive while still advancing. You really don't want much infantry units unless they're going to be in a battle wagon or a truck, but then again, that takes kind of time off it, and there's only one stratagem enhancement that benefits infantry in this detachment, so yeah, but you don't really want much on foot. I don't want any on foot at all. Most of your lists are going to be built off Warbikers, buggies, and, Def Killer Wartrike. I'm going to see a lot of early wars, like I said, because the movement potential of this is crazy, and the threat after the movement is still good. So, round 1 war might work really well. Being able to advance, if you advance in the right way, especially with the 18-inch movement you get with Def Killer Wartrike, you advance, shoot, and then get to charge in the war. You might even see round 1 wars working with this well if you have a short movement distance to make, or you have a lot of cover that you can hide behind. So, round 1 wars are potential with this one, but ultimately that's not really a big point, just a side point I thought of when going to detachments. Ultimately, Mad Max, if it was orcs and built stuff out of pure scrap they find in the garage. So, all about buggies, all about warbikers, but how do the stratagems and enhancements affect this, and how do they actually make the Speed Freaks that much better? Now, the strat obviously is the speediest freaks. They get a 5 invulnerable save when Speed Freaks or trucks is attacked, increasing it to a 4 if the vehicle unit is T8 or less. So all your T7 models, things like your buggies, will basically just get a 4 invulnerable save. So if you don't want things to die that badly, if you're holding a point, you don't want them to die, because ultimately they don't really have that much melee in the Speed Freaks besides the Warbikers, yeah, you can do it. You can have them well, and you can have a 4 invulnerable save, because suddenly things like the Shock Drum Dragster, which I forgot to mention, now can shoot after he teleports because they get the advance and shoot, which is awesome, and I love it, and it makes me want to run Speed Freaks, because I love the Shock Drum Dragster that much. So, that's good. I like Shock Drum Dragster's massive comeback, because you can now shoot his crazy hazardous weapon at everyone. So T8 or less, all your things below T8 are going to get the 4 invulnerable save. Other than that, 5 vulnerable save is completely useless. You get in the white anyway, so just, yeah, bit meh, bit annoying. Squig fling into speed freaks or trucks and a movement within 9 inches of an enemy face. 9 inches in your movement phase. They cause a single battle shock test and a -1 to that test. So if you want the battle shock, if there's a potential chance of knocking them out of a point and gaining access to that point with battle shock, yeah, you could do it. But a bit niche once again. The 2-1's a bit niche, a little bit annoying. Don't think it's going to work much well unless you really need something gone. It could work, but it's only 1 CP, so not that bad if you need to take it. Attacker Storm is speed freak unit that gets sustained hits 1 at range, boosted to sustain hits 2 within 9 inches. Now, obviously, the enhancement's supposed to be down here. Enhancement's not supposed to be here, but like, you know. So basically, like, if you get the closer you get, the more sustained hits you get. So things are just gonna work really well for pushing up. This works nice into, like, heavy squad-based units, so having the Warbikers getting their twin cannons, their twin big shooters, with the sustained hits 2, close up, getting the -1 to hit, or +1 AP when they're 9 inches anyway, would work well. So getting those 2 benefits for the Warbikers, plus the -1 hit from Deathkiller Wartrack would work well, and it just allows you to be a bit more devastating. Other than that, sustained hits 2 doesn't really matter, especially for a CP when you spend on other things. It doesn't really give you that much benefits for that. You want to kind of save your CP for heroic intervention, especially with that fast movement you have in the position to gaining that. But other than that, yeah. Another one is the speediest freaks, which is oh, I just realized I put the exact same strats for that. Well, that's annoying. I actually don't have the 3 other strats for the speed freaks. They do go along the lines of just being speed freaks, and ultimately it actually brings up a point which I'm saying is that this is the worst detachment in the codex, and all of it is very niche. All of the detachments are very niche. They're very meh, and they don't really give much potential. Now, obviously, my mistake here. If you want to go check out the full ones, Ozspec Tactics has it there, so you can check it there. I forgot to do it, my bad. But yeah, so this does bring up a point. This detachment is kind of meh. It kind of doesn't really bring much flavor besides speed, and that speed isn't really even that good. But yeah, it's still very playable and still very works, but it's probably the worst attachment in the Ork Codex right now. That's all I want to bring out. My mistake. Fair enough to me. Enhancements, which I do have, is the Warbosses. So Deathkiller Wartrack only. So basically, if you wanted to put on Deathkiller Wartrack, you can move 6 inches, but can't charge after. So you can basically move, shoot, and then move 6 inches, but you can't charge. So yeah, put on the CP for sustained hits 2, plus all the Warbike stuff. Competitive, but yeah, once again. Faster than yours is basically infantry models only disembark from a transport that has moved and can still charge. So, if you've got a boy unit with a 2 OC to hold down a single objective marker, you can charge them up, have them there, charge them into a squad, and have 2 OC to hold the point down and get slain, sure, but obviously you get to hold that. So, having a single boy unit of 20 is not bad at all to charge in there. But at that point, you just take a weird boy anyway, so it's not really amazing at that. Deathkiller Wartrack units consolidate 6 inches. Yeah, thoughts, handy enough, works well, but not relevant every game if you don't have the potential to move in there, and the melee, once again, isn't like amazing from the Warbikers. So, yeah, but unless you need it for a point, yeah, it's just kind of bleh. Speed makes right, incoming, in your command phase, if you're 9 inches with an enemy, you gain 1 CP on a 3 up, that can take on any Ork model. So basically, if you are within engagement range on a thing, you get to roll 1 CP for 3 up. This is going to be basically put on your units who you want up close and doing damage in melee, which is going to allow you to get CP. So you don't really need to take Gretchens. You can kind of single out Gretchens in a lot because you get on 3 up if you're in close range. But Gretchens, yeah, I don't really know. Works, but works solely once again. A bit niche, but yeah, like I said before, this detachment kind of only purely works into weird kind of niche situations for the strats and enhancements, but still very takeable. Take all your buggies back, very playable, and ultimately, I actually like this detachment. It brings DACA for the Warbikers into it, but it's not the best, and I'm definitely not running this one. But it doesn't mean you can't. I think it worked